Hi, I'm Danger Dan Jers, the host and GM of the D&D Real Play podcast, D&D Dark. Join us on Wednesdays for an absurd, over-the-top comedy horror adventure, starring some of history's most infamous monsters.
I'm Ben Magnet. I play Mary Frankenstein, our barbarian.
I am Daniel Cruz. I am playing Imhotep the Mummy, our cleric.
I'm Jordan, and I play Larry Talbot, a lycanthropic warlock.
I am Grayson, playing Jet Griffin, the Invisible Man, the party's rogue.
I am Aaron. I play the Phantom of the Opera, our bard.
For more information, go to dndarkpodcast.com and listen to us anywhere you find podcasts.
Hey everybody, I would like to welcome you to another episode of Pop Culture Gems. This is a series where we talk to amazing creators, artists, cosplayers, voice actors, and so much more. If you like the interviews we do with our terrific guests, like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the CFG channel. We release Pop Culture Gems on all podcast services and on our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, so be sure to not miss an episode. Back in 2020, a brand new show came into my backyard in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The show's called Anime Frontier, and it's the sister show of Anime NYC. I had the great interview at the time with the creator of the show, Peter Tatara, and I fully support the show then and now. The show is getting popular very, very fast, and I had the great opportunity to talk to not one, not two, but three people who are help organizing the third year of this show. I broke the interview into three parts in this special episode. First, I talked to the VP of Anime Portfolio, MK Goodwin. That is such an awesome title. I wish I had that title. Then I spoke with the marketing manager, Samson Rutkin. We talked anime process and some of the cool things that he had to do with his in his position. And last but not least, I spoke with Senior Content Coordinator Leslie Hunsinger, and we definitely geeked out a little bit, but I was very interested in wanting to know like the process of just setting up a show this big, especially as awesome as Anime Frontier. So definitely listen to the interview. Check it out in the video on our YouTube channel or listen to it on any podcast services. But definitely comment down below telling me what you think of this kind of format. So in the meantime, enjoy. It's that time of the year again here in the DFW area. We will be experiencing the third year of Anime Frontier here in the Lone Star State. And with me today, I have an awesome guest who is one of the showrunners of this amazing event. I have MK Goodwin, Vice President of Anime Portfolio, which I have to say, that's like the best title ever. to just say you, that's what you have. She does a great job pushing working with amongst a big cool team of other talented folks to run this event. And I have the great opportunity to talk to her today. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. This is amazing to get a chance to talk about our events. So.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, especially, I was there. I've been there every year since it started 3 years ago during the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah, and I had the chance to talk to I can't remember his name, the creator, the original
Peter.
Creator. Yeah, Peter. There we go. To Peter when it first started, and I love to see that this event is always growing. So I just wanted to know, this is the third year. What should we be excited to experience for this event this year?
Sure. Yeah. I also have been to almost every Anime Frontier that has happened that first year. My doctor said I was too pregnant to fly. So I was like, cool. Because I'm actually based up in New York. So.
Do you normally do NYC too? Or
so Anime NYC is another one of our events that I oversee. So we have Anime NYC in just 2 weeks and Anime Frontier closely following that. So So a lot going on right now, but really excited to talk more about Anime Frontier. We've got so much going on this year. We've got dozens and dozens of panels happening at the show, dozens of signing sessions with talent, both American and Japanese talent, including Seiyu. We've got fan meetups. We've got our big cosplay competition. We're debuting our Idol Fest this year. Our show floor is filled with hundreds of exhibitors and an expanded artist alley this year. A ton of stuff is on our website, so definitely go check it out. But there's a lot to do and see this year.
Yeah, the big thing I'm actually really noticed on this year that hasn't happened quite yet, because I know this is something that Peter wanted to do, but because during the pandemic it wasn't possible, was that we're actually getting international guests. Especially yes, and I believe this officially is the first year that Anime Frontier is actually going to get an international guest this year. So what is especially a guest like that, what was how was the process of convincing someone about a brand new event, relatively new event, to come and do this here in Texas, because it's technically unheard of here in these parts,
Yeah, no, we're so excited to have actually multiple Japanese guests coming to the show this year, both Chiba Saito, and then we also have world-renowned artist Aki Bright coming in. And these are people that just love to engage with the community. So when we invited them down to the show, they were excited to do it. We were excited to get them announced. The community reception for it has been absolutely amazing, that people can come to the show and interact with these international guests, because it has been difficult. I think Texas has not too many of them, but then also COVID just made it so difficult. And I think everyone has just been kind of yearning for that community that's been slowly building since the pandemic happened. So very excited to have them.
All right, and since its inauguration, in 2020 to now, how are you liking the pace of its growth? Is it growing to y'all's to the expectations that y'all were wanting it to be? Because Texas is relatively a big hub for anime, but at the same time I feel like it's overlooked between California and New York and all these other ones. But how do y'all feel do you feel like the show is kind of becoming kind of like the next pillar of anime to the East and the West Coast?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We've seen tremendous growth year over year. This year, we're expecting, I think, over 20,000 people. And the thing that we are probably the most proud of, obviously, it's Japanese guests and the guest list and all the exhibitors. There's so many things to do. But the thing that I'm personally most proud of, and I know our team is so proud of, is everyone's got a marketing plan to kind of get the word out. But our number one reason people tell us that they come to the show every year is word of mouth. A friend told me to come. A friend's coming with me. A family member told me. And that is kind of the ultimate for us, right? Knowing that people had such a great time that they have to tell other people about it. And that it's just kind of becomes such a great event in the community because of all of that type of sharing.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, because I don't usually do as much anime events as I used to. I used to go to a ton of them, but this one I have been consistently going, because I definitely support y'all's growth. I always have a great time going
Love
covering
to hear that.
Yeah, covering it there. It's very nice and chill. But and like you said earlier, another thing y'all are introducing this year is Wild West Idol Fest. I'm not a big Idol fan myself, so I have no idea what that means for the most part, but I am very interested in what to expect of what for the event. So what could you explain to me what Wild West Idol Fest is?
Sure. So we have submissions from a bunch of idol groups from around Texas, and I believe some other states as well. And they're going to come in, and it's basically about the pageantry and performance of it all. So they will dress up, they will sing and perform for the audiences. And for the couple idol fests that I've been to before, the energy is it's very electric in the room. People just being able to nerd out and geek out with each other over some of the things that they love, some of their most popular properties and stuff like that. So we're really excited to introduce that this year. People love bonding specifically over music and performances. So I think it'll be an amazing showcase, honestly. And some of my favorite content of the show, again, we love that we have Japanese voice talent and all of these American voice actors and artists and everything. But I love content that's, produced by fans, essentially. So really, really pumped that it's the first year we're doing this.
So are the fans? The fans are also going to be like the people that are going to be pushing? They're going to be performing as well in this. So
the idols are also fans of the content.
Gotcha. So. Gotcha. Okay, I see. And you've been doing this for over a decade now. Like, I mean, making these conventions and for these things to happen and stuff. And now to the level. I mean, Anime NYC is a beast in itself, and now you're doing it again over here in Texas, which is awesome. Awesome to hear. What is the most hard, I won't say agitating, but more like what's the most the experience, what's usually the most difficult kind of experience to kind of do to push like a big show like this every single year and try to upstage from the previous one? What's one of those kind of experience?
Yeah.
Your experience?
I mean, I would just say it's the vast number of moving pieces with the event to put something like this on. There is so much to do and see at our events. There's guests, there's exhibitors, there's artists, there's our community events, there's meetups. There's just so many things, and all of those things, it's almost kind of like a domino effect that those things involve these things that have to be done. And so we have a pretty sizable team that handles that kind of stuff, but it's because there's so many things to do that it can get a little overwhelming at times, and our team can get a little tuckered out. But we've all expressed the same sentiment that no matter how many hours we spend in spreadsheets or answering emails, being on site at the show and seeing the community come together makes the late nights and the weekends and just all of those times when we're so tired just 100% worth it.
Oh, that's so great. That's great to hear. And you have to be, especially with the title that you have. Are you an anime fan yourself? What kind of what's your what's your favorite anime, or do you have a go-to?
Yeah, so my gateway is I was a Toonami kid, so first got into Sailor Moon late 90s, early 2000s, has always stuck with me and always have loved it. Magical girl anime has always fascinated me just because I grew up a general pop culture nerd as well. And you would see in other areas, you had your Supermans and your Batmans. There were no strong female characters really, but anime had them in spades. So it was a really great way for me to just kind of see myself reflected in media finally. And from there, it just kind of snowballed into my early teen years with the Pokemon and Cardcaptor Sakura and Slayers. And so whenever someone wants to talk nostalgia anime, I am all about it. And then also kind of to outside of the anime community, just kind of general audiences, people are like, you're interested in what? And I'm just like, kaiju. It's amazing. Get into it. Just the stories around Godzilla, the amount of time that it's been done. My father and I used to watch the movies together, and he's since passed, but some of my fondest memories are sitting on the couch with him watching Godzilla, the body slam like a praying mantis or something, it's I know kaiju are supposed to strike fear into the hearts of man, but really for me, it's kind of it warms my heart.
Yeah, it's hella campy too.
Love it. Yes. Oh my God, of course. Yeah, I have to say they're doing a really good job with the new movies too, though. So. Oh
yeah, definitely. And are you more? I know it doesn't matter, but do you prefer usually subs or dubs?
Oh, politically, I'm going to say both have their own merits. So, but I'm a sucker for subs when I can get my hands on them and when I can also fully focus on them. I have a lot going on in my life. So also dubs kind of have their own place as well, because then if I don't have to be reading the screen, I can kind of be doing things at the same time while still consuming the content, which I can't.
I am not judging, because I definitely am just as much as a hard worker too. As I like to have the ambient noise and hearing what's going on without you just reading the deal. So I definitely get it. I definitely understand. But
each one has its time and place.
Oh, big time. And I definitely you definitely grew up probably that time too, where it's where VHS was VHS anime and was moving over to DVD. As well,
yes.
And then subs were its own separate, but they cost $80 to buy.
Yes. So I have it was so hard back then to get your hands on real anime content, whereas today, I feel so old saying this one, these kids don't know how good they've got it with your Crunchyrolls and your high dive, and all this kind of stuff, right? But back in the day, we had the dub stuff that was on just general television, and met some people in like an anime friendly chat room and, exchanged like VHS tapes over state lines. Like it's, it was difficult. It was hard, but that's how I kind of got my first subbed content. Was that kind of stuff, and just knowing what a difference it was back then from the original material to what it actually became when it was Americanized. So all very, very interesting and cool. But yeah, these kids today, man, just hand it to them.
I totally agree with them and their choices now. But the biggest thing though too about Anime Frontier, what I love is that like the I won't say that y'all don't usually aim for like a theme every year, but it just seems like you kind of do in a way, like because like last year y'all were the first like to have a Gundam store inside at a convention in Texas, and that's great. And I mean, and this year it seems like the Idol Fest is the theme itself, or it seems like a bigger theme now because it's a first of its kind as well. It's like is that what y'all like? Is that what y'all are trying? Like, do y'all normally just have to? Is y'all's idea is y'all trying to push the limit of what you can do every year for a convention, or what you can like to expect for the con goer? Like, is that what y'all try to do every year?
Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing that we try to do every year is listen. We all have ideas of what we think a show should be, can be, what we personally would enjoy. But what we like to do is go out and we like to talk to the fans either in person, over social media, through our post-show surveys. And we don't like to really pigeonhole things into like a quote unquote theme. We'll see what the fans want and what they're excited about for the following year, and we'll start building around that. So fan feedback is incredibly important to us. And we heard last year that, there was a want for more Japanese talent, which we've tried to fill this year, and then a want for more community programming, which we're also, doing our best to fill. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff at the show this year that came directly out of feedback from our fans last year, because we are essentially building the show for them.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. So most definitely. And like folks will, like I said, once again, tickets are currently on sale for Anime Frontier. It is December 8 to the 10. Do the 3-day. Just don't even waste your time for the 1 day. Just do the 3-day event. You'll definitely enjoy it. But one last thing before I let you go here, what would you, if someone who was brand new to the convention, or let alone the anime convention scene itself, what would you suggest, like the thing, the spectacle to see at your show this year?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's almost like I'd be remiss to mention just one, but I'll do my best job here. So I would say some of the best things to look at, and like you mentioned just now, Gundam Base is returning to the show this year. They had a great time at the show last year. They loved interacting with all the people in Texas, so they are coming back. So that is a great thing to take pictures in front of. It's amazing, the size and the scope of some of the stuff they bring in. So we're really happy that's coming back. Our autographing area with all of our celebrity guests, voice actors, is another great thing to see. But my suggestion to make sure that everybody, what I would like everybody to do at our event is a 10-day fan meetup. Find what you love. We have a meetup for almost everything. And meet some more people that are just like you, that love the things you do. Some of the best things I think that come out of our show are the connections with other people, new friendships, new relationships, marriages. Like it's pretty amazing when people can bond over stuff like this. So that would be my suggestion. I would say it's not the flashiest, but I think it's the most long lasting.
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially, I mean, you get a really good opportunity meeting other people that love the same thing that you do too. So
last year I met somebody. So I'm like a real sucker for like couples cosplay and group cosplay. Last year I saw a Kagome and Inuyasha walking around together, and I was just like, love this. You guys are adorable. Started talking to them, and I had found out they had met at Anime Frontier the year prior. Like, wow. So this relationship, right? And like, this is like we see this often, but this is just kind of a microcosm of like this relationship. These people could possibly be like life partners going forward. And the fact that we could connect like these two people over something that they loved, like that's just, it makes all the late nights and everything worth it, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I love that. MK Goodwin, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about it. But definitely hopefully we'll see you at the show. I'll definitely
Yes,
swing by and say hello.
please. Yeah, let's hang out and geek out over all this stuff because it's my favorite thing to do. And thank you so much for having me and talking to me. And just really happy to be here and kind of talk about our magnum opus here. So thank you.
Hello, my fellow geeks. Thank you for checking out an episode of Pop Culture Gems. I want to let you in on a little secret. We opened a brand new merch store. The CFG.store is the best place to go and support what we do here at confreaksandgeeks.com. There are stickers, hoodies, and different cool t-shirt designs of your favorite hosts. Also, the CFG.store is where you can support the site by becoming an exclusive CFG member. You get discounts, exclusive video content, behind-the-scene podcast specials, special thank you shout-outs on our live streams, exclusive merch, and so much more. So be a pal. Check out and support us at the CFG.store and be a part of the fun. Once again, I am talking to another awesome person that is part of the Anime Frontier crew who makes things happen at this new event. This is the third year of Anime Frontier, and it's always getting better and better every year. So definitely check out animefrontier.com and then and definitely attend the event. Say hi. I know I'm going to be there, so definitely check it out there. But right now I am talking to the marketing manager of the event itself, Samson Rutkin, to the show. How are you doing, sir?
Oh my God, pause for applause. I'm doing good. I'm really excited I'm just really excited to talk to you. I don't know. I don't get to do, because I'm just doing all the marketing, I don't get to do many interviews. So I'm very excited to talk to someone on the outside.
You know what's funny? It's funny because I've always liked, because we've done, I created the show because of the pandemic, and I've always wanted to talk to folks, especially who runs events. This is the best thing, the back, kind of behind the curtain kind of situation. So this is the kind of stuff I love to chat about. So, it's
actually funny that you mentioned that. I started out as a fan, and I would go to Comic-Cons. Like, my home con is New York Comic-Con. And I was one day I have a story for another day, but I saw something happen and I was like, I want to be a part of that experience. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to be a part of it. Fast forward a few years later, here I am on a podcast talking to you about it.
See, there you go. I mean, it's awesome. All right, but that's cool. So so Anime Frontier is coming December 8th to the 13th. Is your how many frontiers have you gone to or have you attended so far?
So I've attended all 3 Anime Frontiers that are happening. This one's going to be December 8th through 10th at the Fort Worth Convention Center. And we're so excited to be in our 3rd year. So I'm excited to be a part of the 3rd year. I'm excited that people are going to experience the 3rd year, everything. It's
just been improving and improving. I mean, especially for a convention that started in the midst of the pandemic initially, and then it's just getting better and better. But even on the marketing side of how the event has just been growing, just the process of last year when y'all introduced the Gundam exhibit and store and everything, how are you as a marketing manager, how are you in the know of what the next best thing is going to be to show for the next show, and how would you upstage it from the previous one?
Yeah, so it's very interesting, that question, because it's a combination. I would say, of 3 things. One, we have a lot of team members who are either in sort of the anime space already, because we have team members from all over the country. So some are actually based over there in Texas, and they are very much in the Texas anime scene. Our marketing coordinator doubles as a voice actor. She has some roles in Crunchyroll and things like that. Our programming manager, he is a former exec from Funimation Entertainment. So they sort of have their finger on the pulse on that. And then also we have these special relationships that we've crafted and nurtured with various anime publishers and publications and just key players in the anime space. And so with those trusted partners, they let us know ahead of time sort of what they're feeling, what they're seeing out there, as well as what they have coming up. And then so we take all of that and we synthesize that and we drill it down and go, okay, for specifically the Anime Frontier audience, the Texas audience, we think that these things are going to be really cool because, there might not be like a Gundam base or something at any other con. So we know that that's going to be really dope. What is it? Chiwa Saito coming, the original voice actor from Puella Madoka Magica. She's going to be there. And then just like other little things like that, having this sort of insight and this relationship that we're able to curate a specific experience for fans has always been our goal, is to sort of leverage that.
That's great. Yeah, and I was going to say about what Chiwa Saito coming to Anime Frontier, that this is the first year that we're getting international guests, and right. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Yeah, and I think that's the one thing that a lot of events, especially here in Texas, is really kind of negating, that we don't usually get that from a lot of other shows. I'm not saying that we don't, but it's fairly uncommon. So yeah. So just getting how did that even come into fruition? Like, what made y'all decide, we need to get someone someone from Japan to come over here?
So for that, we really wanted to be able, again, to go back on the first point, we really wanted to be able to provide fans this experience that they really can't get at many other cons in Texas. And part of that sort of experience is tapping on our relationships that we've developed through our sister show, Anime NYC, with all of the different anime publishers. And so, we'll have these conversations throughout the year. They don't just happen, by chance, or they don't happen like the week before. These are, potentially years-long conversations, just because, making sure that someone has, all the credentials that they need to be able to just travel overseas. I mean, anyone who's just generally traveled overseas, knows what a process that is. Mm-hmm. So making sure, for example, that Chiwa Saito has, everything that she needs and everything that the publisher needs to sort of make that happen and come together and come to Texas is our goal. And it's not just Chiwa Saito, it's also Aki Bright, or last year having Flow or something like that come. So it's just making sure that we have these experiences that are directly tied to anime, that are not just your typical con fanfare. We want to be the con. And I'm really excited to say that, positioning ourselves that way in the market is trending in that direction. So we are so excited, so grateful to have Chiwa come out, and all of our past guests and all of the guests that we've got this year, as well as some that we can't really talk about yet. But that is not to say that won't happen soon enough.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. There's still guests that y'all haven't even announced yet, with a month away. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, keep an eye on our socials for that. Plug on that.
That is great. So itself, I mean, what is one of the most you yourself experiencing your own personal deal with Frontier, especially you building the show up, the show up itself. What is one of the experiences that you're wanting fans of the anime genre to experience at this show, or something that they should not miss about it?
Something that they shouldn't miss. I think over the past year, we've really sort of really began to understood how big VTubing is. And so with that, we actually have a relationship with, HoloLive. Mm-hmm. So having HoloLive, those two guests from HoloLive English and HoloLive English Myth come this year to Texas is something so exciting. And I think for those who aren't even aware of VTubing, aren't aware of HoloLive, I would suggest going to just see that panel and just experience it. It is so, it initially sounds so out of left field, not to use the company name, like that you wouldn't think like, I don't get it, I don't understand. But like after me experiencing it at other shows, I was like, oh, this, you know, in a way is very anime and is really not sticks, but like it goes to the core of what an anime fan is this VTubing and this experience of seeing, you know, a digital guest, a character like this come to life. And I can confirm that they do, you know, talk live and everything, because I have seen at other shows, they will call out specific audience members. I like your cosplay. I like your orange hat or something. So like they can see you. Just because they are VTubing doesn't mean they can't see you.
That is such a weird, like to me, even as the anime fans, always like the VTubers have always been very interesting. It's a very interesting genre. I'm not judging. I mean, personally, yeah. But I'm just saying, like for me, I'm like, how is this even possible? You know, because like you know, it's actually kind of funny because I think I forgot what his name was, but one of the people from the trash anime trash like podcast in Japan was walking with a VTuber at Tokyo Game Show, but then the VTuber was was on like a Segway thing with a monitor on it, and I'm like, what is going on with this? This is so cool for technology, but what?
I mean, like, you know, we're gonna. What is that? We're gonna have like meet and greets with these HoloLive VTubers. So like just the experience of that is very interesting. And then like even outside of VTubing, there's like so many other stuff. What we've really come to understand about the anime frontier and Texas anime audience in general is that it is so community, so fan driven. Like, and one of our goals when we do a con anywhere, Comic-Con, Anime Con, like, is we want to first and foremost understand the fans. You know, it is not us coming in and being like, this is how a con should be run, watch and show up. Like, that is not our deal. Our deal is very much, we are going to create the space that fans want. And it is sort of, in a way, curated by fans in that respect. Because this year we've got like the inaugural Wild West Idol Fest, which is just, you know, which is like an idol competition. Not competition, I'm so sorry. An idol performance stage. I was thinking of the cosplay competition. But we've also got that. And like like the Gundam base and all these other meetups and whatnot. It's something that is driven by fan demand. And we want to make sure that we honor that with everything that we do, including the guests that we bring out, including the exclusives that we bring out. We just want to make sure that fans have the oversaturation of experience.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all have just been, like I said, I just love seeing how this event has been growing, especially when you have people that are like the level of feedback, like how open y'all are with the feedback that you get from the fans, and then and then reciprocate that into like a show where it feels like you're listening to that said feedback. So I mean, I definitely appreciate it, especially so I'm definitely all in on it. This is my third year covering it, so this is going to be a very fun experience. The biggest like I'm asking this for everybody, but like
ask away.
You have to be an anime fan to be a part of this, right? Like,
No, I'm not an anime fan, not at all.
Right. Do you have a favorite? Like, what's your favorite? Do you have a go-to, or do you have a favorite series that you grew up on? Like, what kind of series did you do you like?
I would say like my go-to currently, according to my Funko Pops, would have to be like My Hero Academia. I love it. I think it's great. It's so, it's so mature for something that started out so like so demure and so innocent. And like this last season, I don't know if you want to put a spoiler alert out there, but like this last season had Hawks in his backstory, like fully explained and all that. And so like having guests like Zeno Robinson come to the show this year and like knowing that he voiced Hawks and things like that. And so like sort of putting a face to the voice to the name and all that stuff is so cool, like to see. And then I would say it's not something that I watched when I was younger, but just because we have Chiwa Saito out and the voice of Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop out, I started watching Cowboy Bebop again because I watched it when I was younger, but I didn't remember it. And then I started watching Puella Madoka Magica, which endlessly fascinating. And so like I love getting to experience all these different kind of animes, and being in this space allows me to really widen my scope. And I would challenge all of the anime fans and new fans who come to Anime Frontier to like seek out maybe something that, you aren't familiar with at Anime Frontier, because it is something that people are so passionate about, whatever anime you find that you didn't know before, and you will become a fan one way or another.
I couldn't say it any better myself. And there's no wrong answer either. But are you subs or dubs?
Ooh, okay. I believe in the sort of like delivery of it. However, usually I am dub only because I am doing so many other things like at once, not to be like, I'm busy, but like sometimes I just like to keep it on in the background, and it sounds like someone's in the house. So it doesn't make me feel as lonely when I'm working here in my office. But like when I was younger, I would watch the subs and I would be so interested. And sometimes if I become like impatient about something, I will watch the sub knowing that the dub will come out if it's simulcast. So
okay,
I can do both.
See, okay, that's cool though. But yeah, so I mean, I don't judge. I like both of them too, just as much as the same thing, because I'm the same way. I like ambient noise, and so if you're focusing on something else, and you don't have to be reading a script, right? So be it, But I was gonna say, as a marketing girly, when you ask the extra step of people to read stuff, which is fine, and is something that you would expect, you almost have to make sure that like, all right, I want to be able to capture their attention, or the person who's doing the reading, I want to be able to focus on this. So for me, when I watch subs, I'm like, I have to sit down. I want to be able to read and sort of focus in its entirety, because I can sort of make out stuff when I listen to dubs, but subs, I'm like, I want to be fully in. I want to be immersed. Oh, I totally agree, man. But Samson, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to geek out with me a little bit about Anime Frontier.
Oh my God, of course.
Yes, and folks, once again, like I said, go to animefrontier.com to go to this awesome event. If you're in the DFW area, or if you're wanting to go and travel to DFW to go check this event out, by all means, you need to go check it out. It's always a great experience. It's always getting better and better. It's in its third year, and there's always awesome things to do as always. So definitely come by and check it out and say hi, because I'll be there too. So just Yes. I'm talking to Leslie Hunsinger, the senior content coordinator of of Anime Frontier, that is going to happen December 8th to the 10th, where you can go check out the tickets at animefrontier.com. How are you doing, Leslie?
I'm so great, Davis. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, I'm glad. I definitely just can't wait to this show, because like I said, I always have a great time covering this event, and I've been loving the team. Every time I talk to one of you folk, because it's such a great, y'all just hype it up more and more.
It's true. I mean, we're a very close knit team, and we are all like so hyped to be in Texas in a few weeks. So we can't wait to put this show on for you guys.
Oh yes, yes. So like the content coordinator is I would say it's a very important position. I mean, not more than the other, but it is a very important position because I'm assuming it's the content, it's the programming, everything, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so I work with Lance, and the two of us really are, powering forward on the content. My focus is really on, a lot of community and cosplay stuff. So really, the Dallas-Fort Worth area is very excited for, community-focused stuff. So I help to pilot things like the cosplay meetups and the gaming, whether it's video gaming or tabletop gaming. So I sort of power through on all that stuff.
So do you do the scheduling of like where the meetups and the locations, the times, everything for throughout the show itself?
Yeah, I mean, we do work as a team to kind of like all put in our our strategic viewpoints on things, but I definitely am spearheading the cosplay meetups, the where and the when. So definitely check those out all weekend long at the 11th Street lobby.
Oh gosh, yes. And did you ever cosplay, or were you ever into cosplaying itself?
It's funny because I think, all of us on the staff can really trace our anime origin story to like some sort of, anime thing that we loved. And I do remember, being in 8th or 9th grade and like going to anime conventions and like cosplaying and like, yeah, I definitely was a cosplayer back in my younger days.
Oh gosh, yeah. And it's funny, like, I mean, I'm an old man and I don't know how old you are, but I just can only imagine like back in the days during that time, it wasn't as accessible for the material, the material that you could get now, like the cryofoam and then the crazy lighting and all this nonsense.
It's so true. I mean, I think people still do like really budget cosplay and put things together, but I was definitely like a hot glue gun felt cut out into weird shapes type of a cosplayer. Yeah, I mean, I'm 38, so I mean, yeah, however that ages me, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and you put the character together however you can put the character together.
That is true. Now, like Anime Frontier, like I said, it's hitting its 3rd year. And you said you went to the show for the first time last year, so you've hit it the first, like you're starting to see like the steps of it growing to become something that it's hopefully going to be the #1 anime show in the state. What are some of the things that you're do you have that you're trying to do to make the show kind of be different, or set its own tone, or set its own tone to become a go-to show for the state of Texas?
Yeah, that's a great question. Of course, we're really all proud to be a part of the team that runs Anime NYC, which is a huge event, has just such a large Japanese publisher and guest presence. And so, of course, that's the team that's bringing the energy to the South to serve fans in that area. Last year, I was able to see the Gundam base. I don't know if you saw it, but
I did.
It's incredible, and it's coming back this year, so we're thrilled to welcome the Gundam base back. As far as some of the other things, I just think that we have really good relationships with Japanese partners and publishers to be able to bring some of that like legitimate Japanese flavor to Texas, and of course just trying to bring community and cosplay from the Dallas-Fort Worth area into the show as well. We're welcoming back Heavy Studios running video game tournaments. We're welcoming back Pachinko Festival. Of course, that's authentically Japanese gaming. New this year, we're introducing a tabletop gaming offering. So fans of card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and Magic the Gathering and Disney's Lorcana can expect games and tournaments, and I think that's going to be really cool. We're having an Atasha display again, so if you're big into the Atasha cars that are all decked out with anime characters, that's going to be coming back as well. And the Wild West Idol Fest, I think, is going to be one of the coolest and newest things that we're doing this year. So, I mean, that's going to be really over the top. Friday night on the main stage, you're definitely not going to want to miss that.
Yes, and And I think the one thing I'm really hyped about that I'm seeing that is is seeing Chiwa Saitao coming to, like, you know, because this is really our first official international guest coming to the show for Anime Frontier, which is definitely showing that the winds are changing for the better for this show. Like, so just the process itself, do you engage heavily on the customer's experience? So I guess I'm assuming, like, you know, surveys and stuff like that. Like, how engaging are you when to determine the kind of content that you're pushing into the show itself, like with the DFW community?
So we definitely do run. My cat's over here trying to get up on my lap, so that's why I'm like over here trying to. We definitely run surveys. We have fan meetups in the area, so we go out and we actually get into the community and hang out with the fans that want to come to the show. You know, we have a really dynamic social media team that's always checking out what our fans are talking on social media. Our Discord is popping, so if you're not a member, definitely join. But, you know, we are listening on all channels, and always open to feedback, right? So if you have ideas, thoughts, opinions about this content really needs to be at the show, you know, our customer service inbox is always open, and we read all of those messages and they get, you know, disseminated out to the right team member. So we're really passionate about listening to what the community wants and then trying to figure out a way to bring it to life year over year.
Yeah, and like you said, like with the Gundam showcase that happened last year, was like, it feels, I've said this, I've noticed it before. It seems like y'all kind of, I don't think y'all are meaning to do like a theme per se for every year for a convention, but it just seems like y'all are always trying to upstage something, like add something new every year to make it to just increase the hypeness of the show every year. And I guess this year's big thing is the Idol Fest, which I'm very interested about just to see like how that experience is going to be. Excuse me, is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need your tried and true stuff that happens all the time. You know, we're bringing back Artist Alley, of course. Our exhibit hall is going to be full of vendors. Our cosplay masquerade is our biggest event of the weekend, and that's definitely going to be there, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. But I totally agree with you. Like, you know, if fans are returning, it's going to be more exciting for them to see something new and different, and it's going to help us to figure out if we need to go in some new direction and explore some sort of new and untapped fandom. You know, we've got HoloLive guests coming, so we're, you know, making sure to serve the VTuber fan. We've got the Idol Fest, so of course the Idol fan. We've got a lot of programming around things like K-pop and cosplay. So we really just, you know, are trying to really make sure that every fan, whatever their fandom, has a great time, and we're always open to new ideas as well.
If it was up to you, like, if you suggest, like, is there a suggestion that you would say that you're excited about, like, this show? Like, what would be a person that you would, like, if you met an anime fan that's never been to a convention before, like, what would you like say to go to come to the show? Like, what should they experience at it?
Like a first-time anime fan that's never been to the show?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So depending on their interests, you know, if they're like an old school anime fan, I would really want to talk to them about some of the old school anime voice actors we're having like Steve Bloom, of course, from Cowboy Bebop, and Robbie Damon, Max Middleman. We just have such a really great English voice actor selection of guests, which I think is really exciting for fans of anime to be able to like see the voice of the characters that they love come to life. And they're so friendly. Like, they just love it when you just, you know, come up and chat with them. Like, they really are a friendly bunch. I think cosplay is one of the coolest things that is something that people can do and observe, like to put the creative energy into bringing to life a character that you've seen. In anime, it's particularly hard because these are two-dimensional characters, you know, and you can draw anything, right? Like, it's not like a movie where you really do have like a good reference of 3 dimensions. It's, you know, particularly wonderful the way that people do it with anime cosplay. So, you know, to see anime characters that you love walking around a show with thousands of other fans who are so excited about it, joining them at cosplay meetups, joining them at panels and community events, just to like geek out about the same thing. Like you're never going to have an experience like that. And it's really worth it to come out and just hang out and make new friends.
Yes, that's definitely agree. It's funny because like I've always agreed that tell people that if they're going to a show and then they're seeing other people going to the show, I mean you're with people that have the same interests as you, and it's really cool when you're meeting new people at this at an event that basically that have the same kind of interest of that you do, and that you may be able to meet and have new friendships and stuff out coming out of it. So yeah, I think Anime Frontiers is a really good ambassador for that in my own personal opinion. So
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. I've been asking this for all the folks I've been talking to today, but and you clearly are a fan of anime. Like what do you have a favorite, or do you have a go-to that you like a series that you were a fan of when you were growing up, or something that it could be now or whatever?
So I think my first introduction was Sailor Moon. I actually grew up, I'm a military brat, so I grew up in Japan for a few years, and so me and my sister would watch Sailor Moon like totally in Japanese, not understanding it at all, but that really like got me very excited for it. So I mean, I will always go back to Sailor Moon as my favorite. And Utena, I'm like a really old school anime fan. I'm totally but you can tell like those like magical girl anime just get me every time. I really love them.
So it was when now since Chiwa Saito is coming, like I bet you that's a Madoka. Is that Madoka? That was Madoka, right? I believe. Yeah. So yeah, that one's going to be a pretty good one.
That's going to be really huge.
Yeah, and do you prefer subs or dubs?
I grew up watching the subs because that was like the thing. But of course, now I think like, I'm much more into the dubs these days. It's just easier for me. I have kids. I'm like trying to watch, trying to listen, but also like chasing children. So it makes it easier for me.
You know what? I should probably rephrase it because like I definitely because I know you're a busy adult. Everyone's an adult towards this. So obviously it's like, yeah, we'll appreciate the dub. But if it was an ideal situation where it's you and then you're just watching it like. So would you normally go automatically to subs or dubs? And there's no wrong answer. I'm not judging you at all.
No, I really do think probably dubs, and I'll say dubs because we also have so many great American voice actors. So I sort of like to hear and experience them in the shows and like sort of see like who is this person, like what kind of voice do they do. But then of course you can go to the subs after and like sort of cross and compare. Yeah. So
though I think though back when we were growing up though, dubs was a night and day difference of what it is now because
I think that's fair. I do remember it was like a big thing. It was like you gotta listen to or you gotta experience anime subs, like that's how you do it.
Yeah, because like that was the time where it was like they're not adding new things in or some weird crazy stuff. Like you remember, like I believe like with Sailor Moon, I believe like when they were cousins or something, like Pluto.
Yeah, they totally. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how it really changes things, and now I think they really do try to stay truer to the material, as true as they can. But yeah, I mean, leave it to Americans to kind of try to butcher something like that in a way that they think is going to be more appropriate for audiences. Like, it is. I'm glad that they're not doing stuff like that as much anymore. But yeah, that was really like the
fun.
I don't even know what to say about that one.
Make things up. That's great. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I love your little plush too, by the way. That's the mascot of the show too.
That's right. This is Ruckus.
Ruckus, that's his name. Okay, because I was like, I know they have a Longhorn as a character. I love that. I didn't know they all made plushes of that, but I've got one of those.
He's our buddy for sure. I'll hook you up. But yeah, we're actually having like Ruckus sort of became like this cult following. So people are just like Team Ruckus. They're very excited for the mascot. Like people came last year and they started like this impromptu Ruckus Stampede where they were just like marching through the convention center.
I remember that.
Hail Ruckus, Ruckus for president, bring the Ruckus. Ruckus or Death. So it was like really this very funny thing. So we are having at high noon on Saturday another Ruckus Stampede starting in the cosplay meetups area. So hopefully I'll see you there.
Yeah. Did y'all ever I'm pretty sure there's no way y'all were expecting it to be as crazy as that happened.
I mean, Ruckus is so cute, but we didn't really know people were going to be like, okay, like this little chunky boy, like he is ours. Like we own him now.
It's such a great way. But like I said before, guys, definitely come to Anime Frontier. To get tickets, go to animefrontier.com. And it is going to be held in the Fort Worth Convention Center. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yes, Fort Worth Convention Center, December 8th to the 10th, and a good 3-day event of just a whole assortment of different kinds of things for anyone in pop culture. There's something for you there. So hopefully I'll see you there. If you do see me, just say hello. I would love to. Don't mind shaking your hand. But Leslie, thank you so much for taking time of your schedule. Talking anime with me. It was great. It's a great experience.
So happy to be here geeking out with you, Davis. I can't wait to see you at Anime Frontier.
Yes, guys. All right. And guys, once again, this is Davis signing out. Y'all, take it easy.